All right, I think everything's connected. March 27th. Another month down. Wednesday the 27th. We have inventory today. I think that's really the only news today. Tomorrow, big news day, but not a lot today, so we'll see how it goes. Got to remember that oil inventory report. I forgot about it last week. And I don't remember if I was in a trade or not. I think I was, and I ended up getting stopped out. But so we'll try not to repeat that. Open range in gold is forming. Second test of our gold line here after the cross. We got the overnight open below us. $86 down. This actually looks like a good place to get in. Should have been in already. Probably should have been in off of this one, but we'll see. We are kind of winding our way up, which doesn't... We broke this pivot here, but it's the open range, so kind of expect that to some degree. A little extra movement. This huge, like 4:30 a.m. Central, just rocketed up. Now we're kind of trickling back down. Now we're 11 away from where that stop would be. Yeah, the midline here holds up. Seem to be felling with some enthusiasm, which is what we would want to see if we think it's going to go down. Too slow, otherwise I would have been in up here. That would have been a great entry signal. Actually, it kind of looks like oil's kind of rolling over here too. What do we got going? Let's see. 1 minute's a little choppier. Kind of seems like that could be good little retest. After a cross, we're holding it. We're falling off the overnight open. That's all good. Getting good price action there. I am in this. For anyone keeping score at home. Stop loss is way up here, which not terribly excited about, but that's what we got to do. If it breaks through the range, then I'll move to break even. So stop loss 21 ticks away. Right now we're up 6, 7. All right, there's the open range. So break through. Looking for a failure here. If it comes up and stops us out for break even, we'll look for another entry, because we're looking for the overnight open. Overnight open is at 2200.5. Let's let it roll down, see what we get. So we're just going to let that position ride. We've got, let's see, timing 7:39. So we got 20 more minutes until oil opens for us. Why is all my... Where's all my lines over here? Did I take them all off? I was doing a lot of different kind of just playing around yesterday, so. Without my lines, I'm lost. Rocketing off the London high right now. Oh, we got stopped out. Stopped out for break even. We will re-enter if we get a signal, which play off of this might be the signal, so might just got stopped out a little early there. Probably should have left my stop loss up closer to this midline. We've got, that's going to hold. The objective here is to get into a trend. If it decides to trend down, we just want to be part of that. That's the whole point of this strategy here. Okay, we got in on a break of the retest of the 1 minute gold line. Man, it's really unfortunate we couldn't get in up here. We would still be in this thing and we'd be much further in profit. We probably would have added to our position. Well, I would have added a position right there. So we would have got in here either way. This would have been a great second contract. Stop loss is above this pivot, which gives me just 9 ticks of risk. It's really kind of whippy down here. Strong push down, pull back. Wicks, return to the line. Now we got another wick. We'll see how that plays out. Again, the point is to be part of, if it decides to meander on down here, we just want to be part of that move. So that's it. I'm going to take these markers off the chart just because they're getting in the way of me seeing my candles. All right, stop hit on that one. So that's okay. It's not ready yet. So now we have a failed breakout of the bottom. Let's see what we do here. We did create a pivot low right here. So we have this one, we have a lower one here. It'd be really nice if we reach up to the gold line again, which would also be the midline of the range. Midline of the range. The range is 33. So that's kind of average. Nothing too noteworthy there. All right, so we are back in this guy again. This is a reversal pattern. We didn't quite hit the line. We didn't quite hit the midline. So, you know, if I was to rate this one, maybe more of a B plus. In addition to the fact we've kind of had these two failed breakouts, but we're holding the bottom here. So if again, I just want to be on board if we move out of the bottom here. So that is the entire thought process behind this one. Right now my stop is up behind this pivot here. But after this push down, I think I'm going to move my stop to be behind. Let's see. What would make sense? What would make sense? I'm going to do above this pivot here, because if we fell again, then we're going to have to wait. But this is just looking weak. I mean, it could bounce down and push back up, but this is just looking weak to me. Target is still down here, 2200.5. I'll go just shy of that just in case. Okay, I am going to move my stop loss back just a little bit. And there it goes. Okay, well, we don't want to go out the bottom. Now, if we wrap the midline here, I would love to see a close below. Because if we wrap this midline and push higher, then... oh my gosh, you're going to rip all the way back down here. Fun thing about this is you never know what it's going to do. You can't assume you do. You just have to look at the information that you have and make the best guess, best decision you can. So looking at this, we've tapped this gold line 3 times. That's a pretty strong rejection here. Where did I get stopped out on that? I think I got stopped out literally. Yeah. Literally, it came up to my stop. That's just rude, right? All right. One last try here. We finally got a solid test of the midline. That's a pretty solid rejection. We waited for a little bit of a pullback. We jumped in, so let's see if we get the drop now. This is not ideal because when you're sitting here for this long, it's like, well, is he getting weak? Are we wearing it out before we push up? What does a 5-minute look like? There's wicks on the 5-minute. Obviously, the lines are meaningless on the 5-minute chart. We're holding the bottom of it, though. What else do we see? All right, 5 minutes till our open on oil, which is got a nice retest of the red line right here. Right, we had the cross, solid retest. Stop loss is way up here above this guy. So as long as we hold the bottom of this range, I'm going to sit this out because I would really be unhappy if I get out of this and then it falls. But realistically, this is probably a 50-50 coin flip at this point. Back to break even. I don't really like how it's moving up pretty fast. It's kind of working its way down, and then these up candles are pretty, they just kind of pop up there, and then it kind of works its way down. That pops up, then it works its way down. I'm not sure if that's me just reading into it. All right, we got a tight little inside bar here. Let's see. See what we do. I'm kind of curious. Where's the... Yeah, no, we have cross of the 1 minute lines. Not really liking that much. Back to break even. Holy cow, so we got a little volume imbalance here. Got a little drop at the end of the minute. Is our patience going to pay? We're going to move to break even if we tap that line again. Well, I don't know. Our entry point is only, well, where's it at? It's right there. So we tapped it. It'll be 5 ticks. Come on, let's fall. Let's go. There we go. Come on. Down, 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 down. Haven't moved to break even yet. Maybe we'll wait. See if we can hit this low. I just don't want to get chopped out of it after waiting through all of that. But if it doesn't fall here, then I'm not sure when it's going to. There we go. A little more. Little more. One more tick. All right. I moved to break even. I like how the wick on this candle came up, retested this volume imbalance before we took off lower. That's good. The next big kind of question mark here is going to be how do we respond to this low here? We're up 20 right now. I think you're still trickling up. Oil has barely just opened, so too early to tell there. All right, if we can come get a retest of our gold line, that would be a second entry for me. May not get it. So we'll go ahead and add a second contract there. So I have my stop at break even on the entire position, which is probably, I don't know, it might be a little tight. We'll see. I'd really like to see us hold underneath this level. See if we get it or not. It's kind of looking more like not at this point. So look at this, how we held this order block here, or we're holding it so far anyway. We came back up, retested it. Now we're coming down. All right, we closed below there, so I think that's a good sign. Kind of nice to see a little push up in the first 30 seconds or first 20 seconds of the candle. Get an impulsive push down right at the beginning, then that makes me a little more nervous. It could be coming down for a double bottom here before we head back up, but I don't like this wick and then a higher wick. That's kind of makes me a little unsure about this guy. And right back down. Okay, that's good. So we poked our head above here. Took out any stops that were trailing down here potentially, maybe. And then maybe a little push down. What do we think? Just take deep breaths. Just watch it go. Candle finished on its low, so that's a good sign. Man, this is just... Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is we don't know what it's going to do here. We're just hesitating before we drop. Are we waiting? And are we going to need to come back up for a big retest? If we come back up for a retest, we're going to get stopped out for break even, so we're not going to lose any money on the trade, but we've been down to this level, like... Right, if we look at the bottom of this candle, we came down to it here and here. And then this almost came down to it. I really like this reaction, though. We went up here just by 4, 5, 6. So far, you know, high enough to take out any stops that were one tick above this candle. So there's barcoding side to side, side to side. I just know how mad I would be if I sold out right here and then that candle like gave us our next leg down. That would be very sad indeed. And stopped out for break even. After all that work. Now here's what I really want to see, because my original thought was that I should have my stop above these equal highs here. So we'll see how that plays out. We're 10 minutes into the oil open range, which isn't doing a whole lot. We're holding our red line. So looking back at this gold trade, yeah, I never like this when you get a wick. You come back down, and then you get another wick, but it's a higher, off of a higher low. That's a pattern that spells reversal to me. All right, all the way back up to the open range. See how we react here, see if it's worth getting in another time. Yet another time. 2 more minutes for oil to finish whatever the world is doing. Let's see, oil, you got the overnight open just barely above the open range by 6 ticks. Definitely don't like that much. So longs are probably not in our future, at least for a little while. Gosh. What are you doing, gold? The real problem I have here is we have 1, 2, 3. That's kind of like the fourth test of this line. Yeah. We're inside of this giant fair value gap that was created early this morning. Which means it could just be choppy through here. Right, the open range in oil is formed right at the midline here. It's kind of not real decisive at this point. We are underneath the red line, so shorts, we're leaning towards shorts here, but on the 1 minute we came up, we held the red line, we came down below just a little bit. We're retesting that gold line and the midline. But it's just kind of ugly, really. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. We're kind of holding here on gold. Okay, oil is moving very strongly towards that top of the range. Well, we got the overnight open right up there, so will not take the first break. If we push past the overnight open, get a retest, that would be something, that would be a potential opportunity, maybe. How's that for conviction? Possibly, maybe. Who knows? The more likely scenario is we get a little false breakout, really a retest of the overnight open, and then we move lower. I am in on this one in gold. We'll see. Might jump out early if we close back inside the range. I just can't ignore this test of the gold line. The bottom of the range. It's nice reversal candle pattern. There's too many things right there to pass it up. Real question is, does that overcome the fact that this is the 15th test of this gold line? Probably not. All right, we're going to bail out of that guy. The whole point is to be there in case it moves. It didn't move, so we're just going to hold on. NQ continues to meander on up. Look at this. Every time we poke up above a high, we pull back down. We poke up above it, we pull down. We poke up above it, we're pulling back down. Lots of just waiting right now. Nothing to act on. Waiting for gold to see what happens at the midpoint here. We've created these lower highs all the way down. We finally kind of broke that trend for whatever that's worth. So it's possible we reach up. But don't want to trade into the red line, so we got to wait. See if that holds or if it fails. Well, oil finally went across the lines here. Now we're on top of the red line. We haven't crossed above our open range yet. And is gold finally going to test the red line? And that seems really hesitant here. So we have an hour until the oil report comes out. This was an inside bar right here, so this would have worked as well. These inside bars have worked really well the last couple days. Of course, I don't know how I'm not sure how you would play this one to the long side, because usually you would have the candle before it. The bottom of that candle would be kind of your stop loss. Maybe you'd use this one. 10 ticks. They go 10 ticks? Yeah, it went 10 ticks. So I guess if that was it, then maybe it works. Well, this is interesting. So oil seems to be failing lower here. So does gold a little bit. We didn't quite get the red line, but we came awfully close. Then we pushed down pretty hard. Are we finally going to fail here? Or is it just teasing us again? Oil's getting energetic. It's reaching up, pulling back, reaching up, pulling back. All right, so we finally have a real test of the red line. Now we'll find out if it's going to hold. All right, well, we blew through that. We blew through the top, didn't we? So I pushed, excuse me, pushed up. We did come back. We tested the midpoint and then rocketed up. And it looks like gold also wants to go up. Everybody's feeling a little bullish right now. How long do we think that'll last? And of course, the open is happening over here, and Q is falling hard. All right, so oil on the 1 minute. We're getting a nice little retest of the overnight open right here. I mean, super strong push up, little tap. So we're going to try that out. It's the overnight open, so, you know, it's sketchy territory. Well, let's see if we get a little push up here. Okay, oil, or in gold rather, we have a little wrap of the midline here. We get a retest and a cross here. That's going to look really good to me for a long. See what happens. Yep, there we go. Some acceleration out right there. See where it goes. Not liking my oil position too much. I would expect if we were to bounce off of this that we should just move up, and we're not. We're hesitating, so it's not giving me any warm and fuzzies. So we did take this break. We got in a little late. We got in right here at 10.4. All right, we're closing out of oil because that's not going where we want it to go. But gold seems to be trickling up, so we'll take that. So, curiosity, let's paint our extensions on here. So it hit the 100%. This high over here is 250. I would love for us to come back and retest our 1 minute gold line because that would be a second entry opportunity, or a second contract, I guess. It's actually very close to where we entered. I like how we're coming back to this volume imbalance. See if the 1 minute gold line holds. It's also the open range line at 2210. My stop loss is just behind that at 09.3. So right there. So I'm going to give it the opportunity to kind of recheck this out before I get stopped out. So oil, the overnight open failed. Now we're coming back through. So this is holding, but then we created a volume imbalance coming down right here. So we'll see how she plays out. All right, we close through that guy. See if the line holds. See if it holds. Stop loss is right. Oops, not right there. It's down one more. Stop loss is at 4, which it's an arbitrary 10 ticks from where I entered. So, does that make sense? I don't know. All right, we did enter a second contract here since this line is holding. So let's see how this, hopefully we close back through this volume imbalance. Kind of looks like we will. Stop loss has been moved up to underneath here. I don't really like how we ticked up one above here and then came back. But come one tick below there and let me know what you're going to do. One more tick. There it is. All right, you want to come down. And stopped out. Jeez. Gold is just being tricky today. It's being tough. Oil's not being much better. I haven't taken any oil. Well, did I take an oil trade? No, I don't think I've taken an oil trade. Oh, I did. Yeah. I was hoping for a bounce off of the overnight open, a continuation, which did not happen. So one there. All right, so let's look at stop loss placement here. So I had my stop loss right below, after this pullback, and it looked like we were pushing up. So I moved my stop loss below here. We came down here, and now we're moving up. So I did get in another contract here. See what happens, but the real entry on this thing was, I'm going to close that out. The real entry on this was when we had a breakout. We came up above the midline, pushed down. I should have had my order right here. Right. So we'd still be in it. Went 50 ticks before it pulled back. And now it's moving back up again. So that was the entry right there. So we did miss that opportunity. I feel like oil is trying to come down. We got another inside bar here, which did break. You're doing the inside bar thing. You'd be looking for 20 ticks off of this, which is down here. See if we get it. We haven't quite got across of our lines yet, so could be choppy here. Meanwhile, at NQ, this fair value gap here is holding. If you're bearish, that might be a good place to get in. But I honestly haven't looked at NQ much, so I'm not sure if I'm bullish, bearish, or undecided. Probably more undecided based on how it's been. It's all about the right entry spot. See, if we got into the right spot, we'd still be in. We would have added to our position. So we'd be in heavier. Life would be good. And in this case, after this pullback, you might even just target this high. If you're really kind of not certain of the direction. Wait till it gets back up here again and then bail out, or just wait. Just wait and see. Well, we're falling out of the bottom of the range on NQ. I normally don't take these breaks because I haven't seen them work very consistently, but this one is. Oof. Yes, that one's working quite nicely. All right, oil is, the lines are threatening a cross, even though they've crossed like 15 times. Cross, cross, cross. It's really just sideways. All right, well, it might be a short one today because I'm getting tired of watching this. I've already taken several losses, which, the one I'm most disappointed about, honestly, is this one. I should have been in right here. We'd still be in this guy. Should have taken this one, right? I took a couple, of these rejections. We really, even though this one worked right here to a certain extent, right? We did push down 34. It's really not the entry model because I don't know. Let me think through this. We've held a line. The issue, like I mentioned, is that's 1, 2, 3. Unless you look at that as 1, 2. I don't know. Price action was just messy. It really was. So just thinking through this. So if we didn't get in here because we're still inside the open range, which is fine. We come out here. This candle's really just too big to play with. We really shouldn't be. That's the biggest candle we've had all morning at almost 20 ticks. Should just wait because we do get this candle here, which is we're holding the line. We've got a nice inside bar, small stop loss, relatively, right? We're only 7 ticks from the midpoint, which seems to be holding. And then we drop. And from there, that's when we finally give it up. And like today, I'm going to have to go back and test this. I have a love-hate relationship with these averages because they work and then they don't work. They work and then they don't work. Because you look at this and boy, that's a perfect test of the red line. But really, it's a perfect test of the overnight of the, open range. So if we didn't have our lines at all, we take a second contract there, right? First position, second position. And then we took it up to even just here, which, who knows, may keep going. At the very least, we'd have moved our stop up to here and locked in whatever those were. So we'd have locked in 25 off the first one, 14 off the second one. So 29, I say 25 and 14, so 39. I mean, that's not bad. And then, see where it goes. Really targeting like these highs up here. So still need patience. Patience. And NQ is still falling. So I'm going to take a break and maybe come back this afternoon. But until tomorrow, and I apologize, yesterday my power went out again. So that's why the stream ended abruptly yesterday, if you're watching. No power issues today, thank goodness. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.